Would you like to wield the power of the best deck in the old-school format? Do you think you have what it takes to tame the spirit of this complex control deck? In this video, I will present a very solid sideboard list of the deck, explaining a little bit of how each individual card impacts the game. After having a nice overview, I will also speak about the sideboard plans against the top decks in the format. Let's see how far we can go understanding the deck. This sideboard was originally designed by Brian Weissman and later on altered by me to adapt it to the Swedish old-school rules. We have a full playset of blue elemental blasts to protect us from big threats like Blood Moon, Atok and intense direct damage from mono-red decks, but really, mostly because of Blood Moon. A one-off Circle of Protection red to further our defense against big Atok strikes and constant burn. Especially constant burn.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. Hammer time!
2 Divine Offerings, completing the playset with the 2 from the main deck, when we spot must-answer artifacts, as well as high amounts of artifact creatures. 1 Wrath of God as an extra answer against creatures. This card becomes particularly powerful against decks that play many small creatures as either early threats or mana producers. 1 Greed to provide additional card advantage against control decks or mid-range decks that don't present any early pressure. 2 Ivory Towers as a constant source of life gain. They dampen the power of opposing Black Vices, and they have a great synergy with Greed and the Sylvan library in the main deck. And finally, 4 Hypnotic Spectres to give us the upper hand against control decks. They are flying disrupting scepters that activate for 0 and provide a clock. They may surprise an opponent that has boarded out their removal, and even if they didn't, not finding an answer immediately will result in a very quick win for us. This completes the sideboard list. Let's have a look at the sideboard plans. The Atok matchup is a complicated one. Not only it has cards that strongly attack our mana development, compromise our draw engine and thwart our ability to interact, it also applies pressure. We take out Balance, Fireball, Disrupting Scepter, 1 The Abyss, Mind Twist, Sylvan Library and the 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 4 Blue Elemental Blasts, 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Ivory Towers and the Circle of Protection red. We are favored in the White Winnie matchup. Handle the creatures as soon as possible and destroy the land tax on sight. We take out the 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in Wrath of God and the 2 Ivory Towers. We're slightly favored against Zoo. Your entire plan revolves around finding creature removal, but watch out for the Channel Fireball combo. We take out Fireball, Sylvan Library, 2 Divine Offering and the 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in Wrath of God, the 2 Ivory Towers and the 4 Blue Elemental Blasts. The Underworld Winds matchup is unfavored for us. It attacks our draw engine strongly, applying early pressure with Underworld Dreams backed up with Disruption. We take out Fireball, Sylvan Library, Balance and the 2 The Abyss. We bring in 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Ivory Towers and 1 Blue Elemental Blast. We are favored against Tax Edge. There is no early pressure, so you can play around land tax until you find a way to destroy it, but make sure to counter the land's edge. We take out Fireball, Balance, 2 The Abyss, 4 Swords to Plowshares and the 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Ivory Towers, Greed, 4 Hypnotic Spectres and 2 Blue Elemental Blasts. Our chances against the deck are determined by our skill, combined with how well we draw. Patience and knowing when to pick fights are key. We take out Fireball, Balance, 2 The Abyss, 4 Swords to Plowshares and 1 Mox Ruby. We bring in 2 Divine Offerings, Greed, 4 Hypnotic Spectres and 2 Ivory Towers. If you suspect they play Hypnotic Spectres as well, use the following plan instead. We take out Fireball, Balance, 2 The Abyss, 1 Mox Ruby and 2 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 2 Divine Offerings, Greed and 4 Hypnotic Spectres. The exquisite control matchup is slightly unfavored for us. It strongly attacks our mana development, backed up with disruption and mid-game pressure. We take out Fireball, Balance, 1 Mox Ruby and 2 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 4 Blue Elemental Blasts and 1 Ivory Tower. Stasis is one of our most favored matchups. They don't apply any early pressure and our late game is stronger. We take out Fireball, Balance, 4 Swords to Plowshares, 2 The Abyss and 1 Fellwar Stone. We bring in 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Ivory Towers, Greed and 4 Hypnotic Spectres. Jeskai Tempo is probably our worst matchup. They apply early pressure combined with disruption. The Esper Tempo matchup is slightly unfavored for us. They apply the same early pressure as Jeskai Tempo, but the absence of red means we can leverage our Mishra's Factory's defense better. In both matchups, we take out Sylvan Library, 1 Giant Diatome and 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Ivory Towers and Wrath of God. The Disco Troll matchup is favored for us. They apply no early pressure and we have plenty of answers to the Nevinyrral's disc. We take out Fireball, Balance, 2 The Abyss, 1 Mox Ruby and 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Blue Elemental Blasts and 4 Hypnotic Spectres. We are favored against Ernamgeddon as well. Just make sure to find creature removal and watch out for the Armageddons. We take out 2 Divine Offerings and 2 Fellwar Stones. We bring in Wrath of God, 2 Ivory Tower and Greed. The Artifact midrange matchup is unfavored. It attacks our mana development and thwarts our ability to interact. We take out Balance, Fireball, Disrupting Scepter, 2 The Abyss, Mind Twist and the 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 4 Blue Elemental Blasts, 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Ivory Towers and Greed. We are favored against Mono Black. Make sure to have removal for the Hypnotic Spectres and watch out for any sneaky Nevinyrral's disc. We take out Disrupting Scepter and the 3 Fellwar Stones. We bring in 2 Ivory Towers, Greed and Wrath of God. Now we know how to properly sideboard playing the deck. But if this is not enough, and you want to know in detail how to approach each individual matchup, and the reasons behind each card replacement, stay tuned for the strategy series. You may have noticed that my Hypnotic Spectres are not beta. I'm planning to upgrade them, but I have decided to give priority to some upgrades in the main deck first. So it may take a while. Anyway, this is not over yet. Stay put for the next video, where I will present an extensive analysis of the deck's strategy and uncover its strengths and weaknesses. Now that you have a clear picture of how the sideboard of the deck looks like, what do you think? Would you change any individual card? Do you have any different sideboard plans? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and would like to watch more, consider subscribing and supporting me on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.